What's up, guys? If you're a creator, you're a solo founder, or if you're just deep into automation, this video is probably for you. I'm going to be looking into the Hermes agent. I don't know if you say Hermes or Hermes. I don't know if they have the copyright for Hermes, so I'm going to say Hermes. Hermes agent is supposed to be this new type of agent that's not just a chatbot with a short context window. It's built to become more useful as you use it, so more useful over time. So reading over some of this stuff, Hermes is supposed to give you persistent memory, self-improving learning loop, reusable skills, multi-channel support, access to a lot of different models, cron scheduling, browser web and tool access, and then even sub-agents for parallel work. So I love using sub-agents. I use that with my other setups. I use that for my dashboard where you can watch all my agents work in real time. And instead of starting from zero every time with a new session or a new workflow, Hermes is supposed to actually adapt to how you work. So you can see all the documentation here. They have a lot of features that are supposed to be really, really good. I haven't used this yet, so I'm that's why I'm excited to make this video. I've been meaning to make this for a while, but I've been so busy with other things, but I'm glad I get to do this today. If you guys want, there is a lot of stuff in the documentation if you guys want to do that in your own time, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. So today I think we're going to use a VPS to spin this up. It's really quick, it's really easy, it's very cheap, so a lot easier than buying a Mac Mini. I'm going to be using Hostinger, so they actually sponsored this video, but even if they didn't, I was going to use them anyways. So it actually makes a little bit more sense to run this on a VPS because you want that 24/7 access. You want this agent running at all times, and it makes a little bit more sense in your personal machine because one, you have security, you have the cost efficiency, the reliability. If you think about security, your API keys and everything they all live in that server. They're all contained within their server, and all of that networking security they have built into their system. And two, you avoid turning your laptop into a 24/7 server or whatever computer you use. So you don't have to dedicate a whole machine to this. And then again, just reliability. So Hostinger is going to be online. Your VPS is going to be online whenever you need it. Your computer just becomes where you manage the agent, and the VPS is where it lives. And another thing, if you guys have ran this locally, things can get weird. They can get fragile pretty quick, especially with Docker. So if your computer sleeps, Docker gets weird. You hit RAM limits, your updates break things. And then the second you want to have it always running, your laptop becomes the bottleneck. That's why I think Hostinger makes a lot of sense here. So if you guys go to that link in the description, if it take you here to this page. Another reason I'm going to use them is because they already have a Hermes agent deployment. So all you have to do is basically click a few buttons and then you're in. It's really cool that Hostinger gives you this clean VPS, the always on uptime, privacy, a one-click Docker deployment. Because I don't know if you guys have ever tried to do that and if you ever tried to set up Docker by yourself, but good luck. If you don't have a network engineering degree, it could be a little confusing. Pretty cool. So they have a lot of different plans. So they have a KV1, KV2, but I think, we're just going to do the regular one here with the KVM2. And basically all we have to do is hit deploy. I think this should be enough. 8 gigs of RAM would be good for our test. But if you want to step it up and you want to run like an entire company, multi-agents, everything, go ahead and bump it up to the KVM4, get you 16 gigs of RAM. And I think, that's plenty. But for us, we're going to go KVM2. And then here you're going to have the option to do the yearly plan and save a lot of money. Go ahead, click this, type in my code, StevenShoaf, and you'll get 10% off at checkout. So this is the actual setup. This is so much easier than doing it locally. All you do is you pick your server location. You go here, you just search the Hermes agent, click here. It just gives you a little brief overview, installed using Docker, and then you hit select. So this is the part where people come to me all the time, where their local installs kind of go sideways, fighting against your ports, your dependencies, your local conflicts, and then halfway through the previous install, they canceled it and try to redo it again, and then you have broken configs from past installs. But using Hostinger like this makes it really easy. So once you get it up and running, you should go to this screen right here, access, open, manage. So this is kind of a big deal because it strips out a lot of the friction that normally comes from people self-hosting, or people that are scared to do with self-hosting. So this is really cool. All right, so once you have everything deployed, you're going to see you're going to see your terminal right here. Go ahead and click this. It should put you right into your VPS. There we go. So to actually get to your agent now, you're going to want to go back to this right here and copy this value. You want to copy this value right here, Hermes agent, and then this code. And then you're going to go to your terminal and type in cd and then do /docker. You're going to put in that value that you just copied. Should be here. So there I am. I'm in my actual agent now. And then to actually get into the Docker environment, you just run docker compose and then this command right here. So there we are. We are actually in the Docker environment now. And then after running that, all you have to do is type in Hermes. It's going to ask you to say, here's your setup. So let's do this. We're going to do quick setup. I'm going to do my ChatGPT Codex subscription. If you have a subscription, do that. If not, you pick one of these models and use your API key. So here we go. We're going to click this. And then it's going to ask for this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up in a separate window. I'm going to log in with my GPT subscription. Here, I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. For this one, you get a code. So I'm going to put that code in here. Continue. And there we go. That's in. I'm going to use 5.5 because 5.5 is awesome. It's one of the best models now. Let's go ahead and set up messaging. So I'm probably going to do Telegram, and then I'm probably going to do Discord because I want both. The Telegram bot token, if you don't know how to do this, I do this for my clients all the time. So if you don't know how to do that, go ahead and pull up Telegram. Make sure you search for bot father. Make sure it's this one right here. You're going to hit start. It's going to pop up with a message, and then you're going to type /new bot. And once you do new bot, you hit enter. It's going to ask you for a name. So our name is going to be Hermes. Let's call it Hermy Wormy. And then you need to have bot at the end for your username. So I'm going to go Hermy Wormy bot. This might be taken. Okay, so it's already taken. So what I'm going to do is just give it Hermy Wormy with a bunch of numbers. And there we go. So we get this token right here. You're going to have to click this, bring this back over to your terminal, and just paste this in. Let me make sure that it pasted in. Hit enter. So there's my token saved. It may look like you didn't actually paste anything, but you did. And then you're going to want to grab your user ID. So to do that, you know, there's a guide right there that tells you how to do it. Basically, you go and you message this other bot. Okay. And now for the Discord bot, you're going to want to go to the discord.com/developers /applications. So you see I have a bunch of these up. We're going to do a new one called Hermes. Create, and then you're going to want to get your bot token. So what this is asking for is if you go over to bot, you're going to get this token right here. So before you do that, you want to turn on these 3 settings. I always make it admin. You probably shouldn't just give it admin permissions, but for this video, I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit save and then hit reset token. This will give you a token. You're going to go here. You're going to paste this in, and there we go. Discord taken. So I'm going to leave it open. If you want, you can put your username in here, your ID, and then I'm going to leave the home channel ID open. Okay, so there we go. That's all set up. If you want to run these commands again, it tells you right here how to do it. If not, you're going to hit yes. And now you are in the Hermes UI, which is really cool because if you want, you could talk to it right here. But I also want to show you how easy it will be to talk to it. So in this UI, you can go ahead and say, hey, it says initializing agent. Hey, how can I help? Perfect. There you go. So you have your agent running. So as you see up here, you have the available tools. It already has everything built in. You have your skills built in. You can go ahead and launch a Codex or Claude Code or Codex session. Everything's already built in for you, which is awesome. Minecraft mod pack server already done for gaming and Pokemon player. So that's really cool. Let's say, tell me about how you self-improve as we talk. You can see the real-time skill call right here of the Hermes agent. And then it gives me this long, huge list of how it works. Basically, you can keep track of every conversation, your goals, correction, preferences. Yeah, I mean, this is really cool. So this is something that a lot of people have been chasing, is just real-time memory and real-time improvement. So let's run through a couple of examples. I wanted to show you one cool feature about Hermes is the persistent memory between tabs or between sessions. So I actually recorded this whole section and thought I was recording this whole thing live, but I actually didn't. I didn't hit record, so that's on me. But basically I said, hey, my name is Steven. It's nice to meet you. And it called the memory tool. So you can see it said user's name is Steven. Hey, it's nice to meet you. And then I went over here and asked in the CLI, hey, what is my name? And it says, your name is Steven. So I gave it no context to anything in this CLI. This is a fresh server. It had no prior information, and it actually knew that my name was Steven based on the Telegram chat we just had. So that's one of the benefits of Hermes Agent that's really cool, is that everything is saved to memory in real time. Then I wanted to do another thing. So one of the benefits of having it run 24/7 on this VPS is that you can set up these crons, you can set up these reminders and have them reliably delivered to you. So I said, I'm in the AI space. I want you to monitor my competitor's website every single morning and post a summary here to this chat. It should happen at 9 a.m. Central, and I should get a nicely formatted summary of every other AI company that I'm competing with. So I made it really vague. I didn't, give it too much information. I want to see how it handled it. As you can see, it would ask me to clarify and said, who are your competitors? Let me know, and then I'll do this list. Well, I wanted to go a step further. Please search the internet for some of the people in the AI space, some of the other agencies that I'm competing with, and then you let me know. So what it did is it used its own browser skill. It executed all this code. You can see it created the cron and then gave me this nice response. So it gave me multiple different agencies here. It gave me a lot. Wow. 19. So this is really cool. But if you really want a good agency, go to agentsinstall.com. I'm going to use Whisper to talk to it because I rarely ever type anymore. And if you want to Whisper, if you want to see what Whisper is, you can go into my description and click the link. Basically, it just lets you voice text. Thank you for this. Can you give me an example of how this is going to look? I want to see how it is before I wake up tomorrow. In my head, this should run a sample cron and give me the actual result. So let's see what it does. There we go. That was really quick. So every morning I should get something like this. So daily brief, an executive summary, and then it gives me information on what each of these people are doing. So that's really cool. And it actually gave me some suggestions of what to do. It doesn't really know what my business is yet, but it gave me generous suggestions based on what these other companies are doing. So that's really exciting, and that's awesome. And one thing that you can notice is that how fast this last call was. So you didn't see these before, but this one took a while because it was doing research and everything. But this next call that I just did only took, a couple seconds? Because it already knew who my competitors were. It didn't have to research that in memory again. It already had that saved, and it just pulled the information instantly. So I think that's one thing that's really, really attractive about Hermes Agent. Well, I think this might be a really good addition to your team, especially, as you use it for a couple months. How good is it going to be? So again, we can go over here and say, who are my competitors right now? This is very vague. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm really excited if it does work. I don't expect this to work. And if it does, I'm going to be really, really shocked because my prompt was very, very vague. Wow. Okay. So it actually did work. It actually knew from our Telegram chat that these are the competitors. So that's crazy. I haven't actually seen that from a lot of agents being able to recall that like that. It only took about 5 seconds for this and then 17 seconds to do the whole recall. That is amazing. I honestly don't even know what to say. That is something that is really, really cool, and I'm glad that this exists. So one thing I want to show you is that the way it does a skill. So I'm gonna tell it, thank you for this. Can we package this into a skill and be able to use this in multiple places and maybe even multiple industries? The one thing about Hermes is it works really well on skills. So from what I was reading, it should be able to package up this skill and be able to call it whenever it needs it. And it should know exactly when to call it. And there we go. Skill manager called it competitor intelligence monitor. And this is awesome. So now it can be used for all kinds of different use cases, not just competitor analysis, and then even different industries. This generally feels like super intelligence. I don't even know what to say. Somehow it knew I was in Austin. That's a little weird, but I'm gonna let it slide because I never told it I was in Austin. But let's say I go back to this chat and let's say, tell me about the skill. So let's see what the next chat knows about this skill. And there we go. It just it told us everything we need to know about this skill. And it actually didn't even create it in the CLI. So I don't know what else to tell you guys. This is awesome. I'm really excited to use this. I'm really excited to have this running on this VPS. If you want the easiest way to get Hermes Agent running without fighting your local setup, I have a link in the description to give you guys 10% off. So if you click that link, use my code, you will get 10% off this Hermes Agent deployment, which Basically, I mean, you can't beat that price. You get the reliability of a VPS, the privacy of self-hosting, and way less setup friction. So it's almost a no-brainer. I appreciate you guys watching. If you made it this far, please like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos for this around this topic. And if you want me to go a deeper dive into any other topic, let me know down in the comments below. And yeah, that's it. Appreciate you.